You?
I hear the voice of one cry.
You hear it?
Prepare ye the way of the Lord.
Isaiah 40 verse 3.
Make his path straight.
Make his path straight. I wanted you to hear that. We are called to prepare the way. It is harvest time. As I said, Isaiah 40 verse 3. But in order to prepare the way, we need to be prepared. Okay, whatever it is that God is having you doing in your life right now, your day-to-day life, whatever it is, you have to be ready to give an account, as the Bible says. Practice it. Know in your mind when the time comes. So when it comes, you can just pray for guidance. God will give you the opportunity. He will. If you want to be stretched, He'll stretch you. Keep some tracks with you. Into the Word. But the main reason I'm making this video, there's a big picture here with all of us, with our daily lives or whatever it is. Evil is abounding. We are seeing the end times, and our rights are being taken away. Satan, the great deceiver, is infiltrating the church. I'm going to put a link up here to a video, the Kundalini warning. Please watch it when this one's over. It's very important, though. You have to watch this video to see what Satan is doing in the churches. Be prepared for and aware of the false prophets, the self-proclaimed messengers of God, preaching their own false doctrines, and in some cases hate speech. I want to read 2 Peter 3:16 and 18. This is Peter speaking of Paul's writings. As these things and such are, some things are hard to understand. Now this is what we're seeing today, which untaught, unstable people twist to their own destruction, as they do also the rest of the Scriptures. You therefore, beloved, since you know this beforehand, be aware, lest you also fall from your own steadfastness, being led away with the error of the wicked. And Ephesians 4:14 and 15. That we should no longer be children, tossed to and fro, and carried about with every wind of doctrine, by the trickery of men, and the cunning craftiness of deceitful plotting, but speaking the truth in love, may grow up in all things unto Him who is the head, Christ. As I said, we have to be aware of these false teachers that are out there, these false prophets that are preaching their own doctrines. And Satan is the head of all of this. We have to be ready. Peter said, be ready, be vigilant. Your adversary, the devil, is as a roaring lion. Be prepared. You don't go enter a 10K race or a marathon without training first. A modern day soldier, a soldier of this world, does not go into battle, to war, without a weapon and without ammo, without training. It's all about preparation. Okay, how do we be prepared? How do we get how do we get ready for this? How do we prepare the way? How are we ready for the end times? Number one in my book is prayer. And Mark talks about the day when Jesus was going to pick his 12. He had people, some people believe he only had 12 following him, but he had a big group, 100 something, I forget what the actual number is. I know somebody will post, they'll tell me. But out of this, he chose the 12, the final 12. And the night before he was going to do this, he spent the entire night in prayer. Jesus would often separate himself, go off on the fourth watch, and spend hours in prayer. Why shouldn't we be doing this? He was showing us how important it is to have our prayer time, our time with God. And faith, Habakkuk 2:4, the just shall live by faith. We have the faith that no matter what, God is in control. As Christians, we have the faith, we know and believe that Jesus' single act paid our way into heaven. But sometimes yet we have the trouble with our faith in understanding the normal everyday things or what we want to do and believing and trusting. Faith is trusting. Go back and study the scriptures. See how often Jesus spoke to us about faith and how important faith was. The weapons of our warfare are not of this world, but what? For we do not wrestle against flesh and blood, but what? Prayer and faith are the most powerful weapons we as Christians have, and the most powerful of tools, weapons and tools. Being prepared, preparation. Know, as I said, know the Word, get into the Word. You have to be able to prove things in the Word. Somebody says something, somebody quotes something, somebody's trying to tell you something, you have to be able to know what it is. Ask questions. You need to find somebody, a spiritual leader, that you can ask questions to. Somebody you trust, somebody you know you can learn from. We have to learn. We have to grow. And also, find out what's going on. Ask questions. Don't believe everything you hear. Please don't believe everything you hear. Prove it. And finally, as it says in Ephesians, finally, put on the whole armor of God and stand therefore. Put on the whole armor of God and keep it on. Read that again in Ephesians. Read it every day if you have to. Ephesians 6. It's harvest time, and the laborers are few. You are needed. God picked you. God knows your name. He's asking you. He's calling you. Make sure your lamp has enough oil. Make sure that you are ready for the battle. Be strong, stay strong, and stand strong. Agape.